Picture a tree in spring. When blossoms are at their peak, they dazzle, yet they do not linger. Only when they quietly fall do fruits begin to form. A river is much the same. It starts as a spring and earns a name as it passes through valleys. But if it clings to that name, it cannot reach the sea. When it sets aside form and label, it finally becomes one with something wider. This reminds us gently that emptying is not loss but a doorway to maturity. In the Buddhist teaching, letting go does not mean discarding all possessions, but releasing the mind's attachment. As the teaching says that all conditioned things are like dreams and illusions. Much of what we grasp proves as fleeting as mist. This is not a call to nihilism. When we loosen our grip, the present grows vivid. Breath, light, and human warmth return to clarity. Just as the falling of blossoms is not merely sorrow. A river laying down its name is not extinction but expansion. There was a disciple, always diligent yet heavy-hearted. He longed to achieve, to be recognized, and not to lose what he had learned, tying himself tight. One day, his teacher suggested carrying a water pail up a mountain path. The path was steep and the pail heavy. At the summit, the moment he set the pail down, he finally felt the wind brush his cheek. "Was it heavy?" asked the teacher. He nodded. "And now?" he smiled. "Now I feel light." The teacher said, "You were so busy carrying that you missed the mountain's fragrance." Life is the same. This simple story shows how the bundles we carry can veil the freshness of this very moment. Face and honor, past successes and failures alike. Set them down, take a breath, and the here and now comes into focus. Seen through the Avatamsaka lens. All beings interreflect and sustain one another like a net. If blossoms do not fall, there will be no fruit without fruit. No seeds without seeds, no spring to come. Falling is not an end but a turning toward the next birth. A small release in me can ease another's breathing. Impermanence is not resignation but trust in the cycle. To shift from what a pity the blossoms fall to now. The fruit will come may be the beginning of wisdom. A merchant turned more and more, yet his inner ledger stayed in the red. When he asked why his anxiety grew, an old monk offered a bowl of rice and said, "When a bowl overflows, either make the bowl larger or share what it holds." The bowl is the mind, and sharing is the easing of attachment. When he began sharing a portion of profit with neighbors, anxiety softened and trust in his dealings grew. What he let go was not money itself, but clinging to money. As a river lowers its fences and joins a larger flow, he created room in his relationships, and in that space, new opportunities arrived. Among the Buddha's teachings is giving without abiding. To give without resting in notions of giver, receiver, or gift. In such sharing, what arises is not emptiness but freedom. A smile, a bit of time, a small portion of once. Means by releasing these, the hard shell of self-attachment loosens, the heart finds more space, and sensitivity to others' pain grows finer. The lighter I become, the lighter we become together. This is the ethic of mutual flourishing. Letting go is not easy. At the very moment we try, fear appears. If I release this, will I be empty-handed, unrecognized? Here. A useful reminder: raise the mind that abides nowhere. Rather than anxiously seeking a resting place, awaken here and now. The lack of a fixed perch is not the unease of a drifter, but the freedom to be awake anywhere. Then the taste of wind, the texture of sunlight, and human warmth return to our hands. The heart deepens inward and widens outward. Consider the river again. It never insists on a single shape. In mountains it runs shallow and swift, on plains it widens and slows. It raises its voice at rocks and seeps into sand. It does not resist conditions, it passes through them while keeping its nature. At last it meets the sea and lays down its name. Does it disappear then? No, it becomes the sea. The end of letting go is not annihilation but expansion into a vaster self. Non-self is not a void of there is no me, but the fullness of I am connected with all. Once we taste this, the urge to grip fades. We are already connected. Back in daily life, perfectionism at work, pride in relationships, old wounds, and fears about the future tire us out. Perfection is a direction, not a destination. At some point, the courage to accept good enough enables the next step. In relationships, stepping back and honoring another's space brings unexpected closeness. Place your wounds on the palm and look quietly, they cease to grow. Anxiety about the future springs from the illusion of control. Choosing trust lightens today's stride. To let go is to prune the branches so the essence may live. A tree does not drop blossoms out of disdain, but to protect its seeds. The Buddha taught the same core through many parables. The raft parable is apt while crossing. A raft is indispensable, but to carry it afterward is folly. When we mistake means for ends, we become bound by our tools. Knowledge, business cards, titles, even methods of practice, once they have ferried us across, set them down. And like the teaching not to grope fire with bare hands, we do not clutch the roots of suffering, but kindle the light of awareness. Approach, but do not grasp. That is wisdom. Return to the opening line. A tree sets down its blossoms and bears fruit. A river lays down its name and becomes one with the sea. Emptying is not lack but a path to fullness. What can we set down today? Endless comparisons, compulsions to prove ourselves, regrets over the past, fears of the unborn future, and the rigidity of I am right. And what shall we cultivate? The breath of now. The warmth of a held hand, a moment of quiet reflection. The courage to admit lack, and the eye to notice small joys. Place these gently in your two hands, and let the rest ride the wind. Softly recall a few phrases. Form is emptiness. Emptiness is form because it is empty, it can be filled. Giving without abiding, do not cling anywhere, and still practice. Love without ceasing. Raise the mind that abides nowhere, do not grasp, and awaken here and now. May these words light today's path. When blossoms fall in the evening, we envision tomorrow's fruit. When a river seems to vanish beyond the horizon, it is in truth seeping into a wider self. Today, set down one small thing. Pause and listen. Perhaps the wind at your window is saying, "Now, your season begins."